All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the pre-show of 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan. Thank you for joining us today. If you're watching this on the replay, just fast forward. I started to sing there, didn't I?
That's what I do.
It's rubbing off. Just fast forward through this first 10 minutes here. We just do a little sound checks and things like that, so making sure everything's working properly.
Yeah, the first 5 to 10 minutes of this is a bunch of sharing and caring. So again, so if you're watching the replay and you like it, you can share it too. Or if you're just logging in, share. It's that time. Tis the season. Unless you're Jayson, which is don't care December.
Exactly. Don't care December.
He doesn't care, but he's still sharing. So that's a good example of it's what you should be doing. Whether you care or not, just share the mother.
Oh man, you're too much, man.
Oh my goodness, I got some sleep last night. I've been getting up early, man. 4:35.
That's good, man. It's good for you.
It's good for something. Let's see. Today's topics are questions answered. Hashtag Throwback Thursday. I better put on some Pandora. We already got one viewer, and that viewer's probably me.
Do hashtag throwback.
Get your questions in, and we'll get our answers out. Sounds simple? Well,
okay.
It is.
It is simple. It is simple. Okay, Periscope's going. All right. Scratch my head there for a little bit. Let me refresh over here, and we'll get this one going. And we'll get everything going. Hey, how's your, so you got up early Thursday. Other than that, it's going good?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm wearing a tie today because today's picture day. So
picture day for
headshots.
It's Christmas holiday photos. Is that what it is?
Oh no, I think you need. Don't you do Christmas photos like 2 months before Christmas or something? I thought so, but maybe. What do you think? We should go to Corfact after this with our photos and make postcards of our Christmas, and then we'll send them out. Why not? Just send them out again. Yeah, just in case you forgot what we look like. Yeah. Some of us have lost weight. Oh yeah, we're with West USA. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you had me at blah blah blah. Right.
All right. Sorry for the breakups there. I was having some, I think, internet issues going on there. But everything looks good now, so everything looks fantastic. Hey, thanks for joining us there on Periscope. Please share with your friends and family or your sphere of influence, your social sphere of influence. This is the Throwback Thursday episode of 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan, and we're going to answer some questions here related to real estate. Some philosophical. No, I'm just kidding. So you've got that. You've got the sunshine coming in on your face, man. It's hitting you right on the right spot. It looks good.
Oh, it looks good. Oh, hey, tell the sun to stop moving, or else I'll have to keep leaning forward or something. But
if you,
he says I look good.
If you,
I look good, man. I always look good. Shoot.
I feel like my arm's gonna break here.
I misspelled episode. I put opposite.
Yeah. So Thursday's going good. This is we're only 2 weeks away from the holiday season, or we're in the holiday season, but the actual holiday itself.
If you to wait 2 more weeks for the holiday season, then you shop like I shop.
You got good sleep. I didn't get good sleep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm on fire today.
Yeah, right. I gotta take a little swig of my energy drink here.
Coffee and cocaine, man.
Yeah.
Minus the cocaine, because it's illegal, and I don't do that. But
no, that was an 80s thing, man.
Yeah. Questions and answers. In that order.
I'm going to go here to one other thing here, and I'm going to search something here real quick.
So sometimes I share it to my SJC real estate one, and sometimes I share it to the Cotton Group one. Kind of mix it around. But let's see, where are we at? Cotton Group. Goodyear, Arizona homes for sale. Let's do that one too. Throwback Thursday.
Okay, I think it's going here. Yeah, looks like it's still going. Periscope. My Periscope thing, it froze. So my phone over here froze. So I want to make sure it was still going. Looks like it's still going. I got it on my other phone here going. So. All right.
Are we looking for time? I got 6 minutes and 14 on the Facebook Live.
Oh yeah, we got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. We're doing good, man. We're doing really good.
We get time to do activities.
We're getting better, right? It's not taking us long to get everything situated. So maybe we'll cut this 10 minutes down a little bit.
Well, starting next week or the week after, maybe after the holiday season, this whole pre-show is going to be something for the people.
Yes, we got some plans for this pre-show thing here. Working on that, actually. We are. My wife is kind of going to help out with that a little bit. I think that's what you're speaking of, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she just had back surgery not too long ago, but she's getting up and around now. So hopefully she'll be in a position where we can start doing some of this pre-show where it's a little more entertaining and a little more informative, I guess, and a little more part of the community.
So on the remember on the hold on, thing to turn down. So on the last Q&A, remember the last throwback? My mom asked the question, "Are you coming to visit?"
Yeah.
I told her that's not the kind of show we have. But she just made a comment, so I'm trying to get over to it. Oh, she made a comment on my other video. Okay, because I did a walkthrough on one of my flips.
Nice.
Okay, Mom, you're off the hook. I thought you were asking some more questions about, have you been eating enough?
Yeah, and if you want to check out like some of the back video, if you will, I'm probably going to start doing that too. Maybe I'll set up another camera and do kind of the behind the scenes for the show or whatever. That might be kind of cool. But if you want to check some of those things out, head over to our Facebook page, 22 Minutes or 22 Mins or whatever it is. I don't even know how they name that.
Who
stuff.
cares?
Who cares?
No, I'm just kidding. I know
Who cares?
It's 22 minutes with Jayson and Stefan. So it's the full meal deal. How about, well, I can copy paste it, but you won't see that anyway. But yeah, we have a whole log of videos, and if you watch the first stuff, it's pretty bad, but it's all right. It's content, but it's not as classy as we are now. Yeah,
it's a little more professional now, I guess. And you know what? And I was going to bring this up maybe tomorrow or whatever, but that was kind of nice yesterday. What I talked to you about. We've got other people who are sharing our content on their web pages, which is fantastic. That's really good. That says a lot. That's a great compliment to us. And that also another great compliment would be to share this. So if you're out there and you're watching this, please share this with your friends and family. It does us. It makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside.
So
like hot cocoa.
Talking about the playback, what you do is you play back this episode when you're home, and then you take a drink every time we say the word share, because I think there's probably a good amount there of sharing. That's like the Andy Cohen thing, right? Andy Cohen. Remind me?
No, every time we say this word right here, take a drink.
Yeah.
They're drinking.
Andy does it too. Okay.
We're promoting alcoholism at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't say what to drink, but yes.
All right.
Yes, booze.
I assumed. I automatically assumed.
Well, it's true.
All right. We got about a minute left here, and we'll get everything started.
Oh yeah, and so if you're going to ask questions, I need you to go to the 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan Facebook page to ask the questions, so I can read them, because we share this to about 30 different places, and I don't have access to all of them. The one I really look at is the 22 Minutes Facebook Live to answer those questions if you ask them right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've got a question for the show and you'd like to have us answer it during mid-show or whatever, head over to our Facebook page and message us directly from there. Stefan is monitoring that Facebook page. But we got some good questions here. We got some questions we can kind of throw out there. All right, so let's. We got about 20 seconds here, and we'll get this thing started. Don't be bashful either, everyone. Please, if you've got questions, no question asked is not, or no questions are dumb questions, I guess. Right. Is that what my teacher always used to tell me?
Well, I have a political question for you before we start.
We got 3 seconds. Can't do it. All right, we got to go.
All right. On that note.
All right, we're going to get this thing started. Let's do this. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan. Thank you for tuning in and watching this episode. If you're watching us on the replay, thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching us live, even better. We like the live viewers for sure. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance a property here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, we certainly would love the opportunity to earn your business. Head over to our Facebook page if you'd like to message the show directly, or you can always use the hashtag 22minutesaz on Twitter, and we will get the message that way as well. All right, and Stefan Cotton joining me today. How you doing, buddy? As he does every single day, because we do this every day at 9 a.m. Arizona time.
Every damn day.
Every day, Monday through Friday, not Saturday and Sunday. We take those days off.
Oh, right, yeah. Every other day.
Every other day.
Right, no, just kidding. All right.
All right, so hey, let's get right into it today because we do have some questions, and these questions can be quite involved, so we want to give time for that. So let's do our tweet quote of the day. All right, this tweet, this tweet, and it's really kind of hard for me to read here. I'm going to move it over so I can read this thing because this print is pretty small. But the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And I thought that was very appropriate for the time of season that we are in. Right? Always trying to do the full circle with these tweet quotes of the day.
Your tweets are deep, man. Deep tweets.
Deep. Right to the heart, man. Right to the heart. Hey, this is the Throwback Thursday episode of 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan. So let's do this. We got questions. All right. So let's get this thing started. Let's see here. I've got a few questions here, quite a few questions actually. What shall we start here with?
That's a great question. So you threw that question out.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that question for you. You go ahead. You go ahead and pick one.
This is a question. This is a question that is, I think, going to be more and more asked more and more as this year develops. And the question is, can I buy a home and sell my current home or one at the same time?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot more congruent sale purchase kind of deals, right?
Yeah. So when we talk about those trends, remember we were talking about how I said about 80% were short 4 or 5 years ago. Those meant that most of the time they were vacant because they left, or for the most part. Nowadays, everyone's occupied because everyone has equity in their house. I mean, we've been talking about the trends going up, the mortgages going up, or not the mortgages, but the value is going up. And so right now people are taking advantage of the equity. And so they are in the houses. So as showings go, you have to really schedule them in. But if you're looking to sell your house, sometimes your offer on the first house second house doesn't get accepted until you actually have an offer on the first house anyway. So yes, it's not only can you do it, it's encouraged in order to get your offer accepted or to help qualify. You can talk about the qualifying part on the 2 mortgages.
Yeah, yes, you can buy and sell a property at the same time. When we pre-qualify you, we're going to go under the assumption that the current home is going to be sold. And so long as the current home is sold, then we're just going to focus on your income versus your debt load for the new home and where you're going to be after you sell the home. And to kind of tag on that or kind of piggyback on that, if the money for the down payment is coming from the proceeds of the sale of the home, we're also going to assume that the home is going to sell for a certain price and you're going to net a certain amount of money, therefore putting it down on a new home. Now, that all can be done. One of the things that I get in regards to that is, how does that money transfer? How does that look? What do I need to do for that purpose? And it's really kind of simple. I mean, literally, timing's got to be there, and you got to have a good team around you, right? Which is us, right? Us, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Hello, right here. Good team. In your face.
Right.
But having a good team around you, because you can literally walk from one title company right over to the other title company and close. I mean, sign same day, drop off keys for one home, pick up the keys for the next, move right into your new home. That takes some planning and takes some coordination and a good team, but it can be done. It can be done. So the money doesn't have to go into your account and then back out of your account or whatever.
Right.
It can go from one title company straight over to the new title company.
That was a great question. Someone asked me that question. Because they're looking at an investment property, but they have 3 accounts, one in Vietnam, one in Florida, and one here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said you can do a wire transfer, all 3 of them into the same escrow company, because Chase was telling her that if it comes from Vietnam, it has to sit in their account for like 30 days or 60 days.
Yeah.
So I told her, well, talk to the title company, but it's multiple houses, but multiple accounts. It's simple if you just communicate and get your ducks in a row.
Right. It takes some planning, and it takes some guidance. So you need a good team around you. All right, let's get so the next question here, and Stefan, you probably get this a lot. You may not get this question asked specifically, but you kind of feel it, I'm sure, and that is, how many homes should I see before making an offer?
You should 8. That's it. Next question.
Yeah, right.
No.
Done. Next.
How many houses? I remember one time I showed this house in Buckeye. There's this area on the west side of the town there, and it was the West Run, and the house was perfect, and it was right in the budget. We had 9 more houses to look at that day. I said, I ruined it, guys. And they said, what? I go, this is the best house, and we're going to go spend another 2.5 hours looking at houses, and we're going to come back and write an offer on this one because this fits all your needs. So sure enough, we spent 2.5 hours, and then we wrote an offer on the first house. I was new then, or else I'd say, let's just stop looking, right? Because the answer is you look until you find a house that has your needs. And if you find a house that has your needs and your wants in the first house or the first 3 houses, then take it before it's gone. Because when you lose that house, you're always going to think about it. Like, I should have put an offer on that first house, but it was our first week of showing. And I didn't want to just jump the gun. You know what you're looking for in a house. And if you find that in the house, then buy that house. Stop looking.
Well, and I think kind of to tag on that too a little bit is having a good realtor who's listening to your needs and
Yep.
your needs versus wants kind of thing. I think can help minimize that too. There's a lot of agents that just say, "Hey, you want to go house looking," and then they go looking at houses with no real substance behind what they're actually looking at. Because lifestyle, right? You're selling a lifestyle. So do you want a condo or do you want a single family? Do you want a single family that has, open floor plan, or do you want a community that's kind of, they do knitting classes as an example every week?
Right.
So what is the lifestyle you're trying to maintain or live?
Right. A good realtor listens to that stuff. In fact, Christopher, who's one of my buyer's agents now, they called me up a little over a year ago. That was already pending. They called me up from Truly or Zillow. I said, well, what are you looking for? And I said, well, why aren't you getting into these houses? And, well, no one's showing us these houses. I go, well, I'll send you 3 houses today. And if you like the houses, let's go look at them.
Right.
They said, really? We looked at them. We put an offer on the house the first day. Because I listened to what they needed. They needed a single level, 4-bedroom,
Right.
A pool if they can, under $220,000. And then the same goes with William, right? You and I can contest on one of our clients, William. I met him on the street because he was looking at houses. I said, well, let me meet up with you. What are you looking for? I showed him 3, 4 houses, or maybe 5 houses, and we wrote an offer that day. And then go piggyback with Christian. I showed Christian 1 house because I knew what he was looking for, and the other one we couldn't get into because it was occupied. But the 2 houses.
Whoops.
Well, they wouldn't let us in. But
yeah, no, I was even surprised by that. I was like, holy cow, you're under contract already? Wow. So that was fantastic, and that's all about listening skills. And I think a lot of realtors miss some of their listening skills.
Right. What was that? I was not paying attention. That's the worst thing you could say to a client, right? Say that again. How many bedrooms?
Yeah. What exactly are you looking for? Okay, so now next one here, Stefan, that you probably get asked quite a bit. What do you think the seller will accept as a fair price?
Okay, so usually before I write the offer, I always say this to the buyer too. I'll write the offer for any price that you want. You tell me it's 200, you want me to write it for 180. That I don't care. I'll write it for 180. If I don't get a counter back, then I feel offended, like I didn't come in low enough. And I say that because whatever you're comfortable with writing, what you think it's worth, is fine. Until you tell me you want the house. Now, once you say, Stefan, I really want my way, we switch gears. I look and see how much they owe on it, and then I backtrack the commissions and the closing costs to kind of figure out what their net would be. So if they owe 180,000 on a house that's selling for 200, we can't really come in at 180,000 because they're spending about 14,000 on closing costs. So it's a math game, but I'm willing to play that math game. And so sometimes if it's 40 days on the market and you can see that they have 40K in equity, then let's come in low. Let's offend somebody, right?
Well, the other thing too that I think a good realtor really does is they look at the overall picture of this particular property,
Yeah.
like how many days on market, how many offers. They ask the listing agent. You can't really ask a whole lot, and some listing agents will divulge more information than others.
Right.
But getting into kind of reading between the lines, so to speak. A good agent then can come back to you and advise you as to what would be a good and acceptable fair price.
Right. Sometimes I've had it before where agents aren't supposed to tell you, but you say, oh, we have multiple offers. Okay, what do I have to do to get the offer? Well, you have to come in at 143 and ask for no closing costs. What if we come in at 147 and ask for 4? Yeah, that'll work. So then our offer gets accepted.
Yeah.
It's communication, right?
Yeah.
And I always say this too. This is another tidbit for you guys out there. Whenever I write an offer to somebody, whether it be low or right on, I always say, my client wants to buy and your client wants to sell. So let's just figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good advice. And the other thing too, I think that really plays into that I don't think is emphasized enough is reputation on the street. If you have an agent who is not very friendly with other agents, then that listing agent may not be willing to divulge that information to your agent. And so having an agent that has a good reputation on the street, which is hard, that's hard for the average consumer to kind of figure out. But if your agent's making multiple offers or you're making multiple offers on different properties and they're not getting accepted, there might be an issue there. That's just my opinion.
And it comes
Maybe
down
not.
to the fact that the average realtor makes about 4 deals a year on average. That's one every 3 months or every 14 weeks or something like that. That's not a lot of offers that get accepted. So, and the agents come in here ask me questions all the time. How do I get my offer accepted? Well, then first thing I do is call up the listing agent and I say, what do we have to do to get our offer accepted?
Yeah, it's Captain Obvious.
They'll tell you, ooh, this one's tight. We need to net about 186. Well, then I'll do the math and we'll give them 187 just to make it a little like, hey, it's above your net, But
Yeah.
If you don't communicate with the other side, we're not playing against them. We're trying to work together because they have equity in a home. And when you're ready to sell your house, just know that if I'm writing an offer on that, I'm going to ask you, what will you accept? Because let's not waste anybody's time.
Right. Okay, so next question here. How do I know if the property is a good deal?
If the property is a good deal, well, you will know after the appraisal if it's a bad deal. But
Okay.
right?
Next.
That's true. Hey.
No, but in all fairness, in all seriousness, I get this. I had this question asked from a gentleman who is buying out in Santan Valley, buying a new build out there. He was a little unsure as to whether or not he should be purchasing a new build. What are the property values going to do? Everybody wants when you look at this, it's a big investment. This is a big deal, right? This is a big deal. And so making sure everybody wants to lean across the fence and say they got the best interest rate, the best deal, the lowest cost, blah, blah. And so, making sure you get a good deal on a property, every deal is unique. That's number one. That needs to be, I can't be emphasized enough. So every deal is you can't compare your deal to your neighbor's deal in all cases.
Right. Well, and the other thing, speaking on new builds versus a house that's 3 years old or something, it's like a 10%, 15% markup on those new builds. And there's still, just to piggyback to Santan Valley has pulled the most permits in the last quarter, actually this last year, than any other section in the valley. So Santan Valley is very hot for new builds right now. So what's going to happen next year? Are they going to continue to build? Well, they're still pulling permits and they haven't finished building them yet. And that's how you measure if they are building those communities. Am I paying more than a house that's 4 doors down that's, or maybe in the other community that's 3 years older. Yeah, you are, but you're picking out your flooring, you're picking out the cabinets, you're picking out everything. You're designing your own home, and that's where that value is. You have full say on what you want done in the property at your budget. Now let's flip it to not the new builds, because looking at Buckeye, we were looking at this house. Am I paying too much at 200,000 or 170? So I run the comps. I run the same comps that I run if I'm listing the house. I'll say, because when I list a house, I always tell the seller, here's what it'll appraise for, roughly. I'm not an appraiser, but I can tell you based on these 3 closed like houses, this is probably where you're going to end up. Right. In the same vein as on the buy side, this is probably what it'll appraise for based on these 3 houses that have closed in the same area. So I can tell you if it's a good deal or not. Then the appraiser comes in and tells you if it's a good deal or not.
Yeah, it's one of these things that's really kind of hard, because I know when I purchased my home, it was a different market back then. It was a lot of short sales. There was a lot of foreclosures, REOs, that sort of thing. And there was high competition from buyers. And we still have that in the first-time home buyer price point kind of deal. And you're always kind of, as a buyer, I really got a unique perspective on this, because when I put my offer in, I said, hey, let's go for the gusto. Let's lowball this thing. It's been sitting on the market for over 60, I think it was like 90 days or something like that. It's obviously overpriced. Let's go ahead and lowball this thing, right? We know what it's not worth because it hasn't sold in 90 days. Right. So I lowballed the property. And then as soon as I lowballed it, they got 2 other offers miraculously.
Right, that happens, man. It happens to me all the time. It's weird. But yeah,
it's totally. And so then I'm thinking, really, is the listing agent being really truthful with us on that? How do I really know that I'm, And so then it got to a point where it's like, hey, you got to offer your highest and best, final. And so I did that, and I won. My offer got beat, or I got the contract by not having a home inspection, or having or home warranty, excuse me, having the seller pay for a home warranty. $400. That's how I got my offer, over $400. And I ended up paying almost what the original asking price was. I still got lower than the original asking price, but over $400. And I always thought to myself, well, did I really win it over $400, or was that just the agents kind of playing each other to increase their commission? Because I didn't know. It's
never about commission for me, man. I mean, if we're talking about 160 to 170, let's be honest, that's $300 extra I make or something.
Right.
If the realtor is trying to make an extra $600, right, at $20,000 difference, right, then you're going to probably know. But I had an agent tell me that there's multiple offers on this house, or no, they countered us back a lot higher, saying that we have multiple offers and so multiple counter situations. So we backed out. Well, then 3 days later, she called me like, "Are you guys still interested?" Because it totally backfired,
There are unfortunately, there are some unethical agents out there who probably kind of pull those tactics. But and you, even as the buyer's agent, you don't always know. Do you have a way of knowing whether or not there's multiple offers? Probably not, right?
No, only if they're being, you have to trust that there is, or is. I mean, in this market right now, houses are moving. So if there's a house under 200,000 that's been on the market, yours was on the market for 90 days. I had one that was on the market for 31 days. So we wrote an offer on it, and then there's multiple offers, and we didn't get it because, we already put our highest. I already told them, like, this is our highest. This is what we're qualified for. Right. So if you either accept it or you don't, because we can't afford a counter.
Right. All right, so that's that. I mean, that's part of getting with an agent that you trust completely, right? And that's part of getting to know the agent. Ask those right questions up front. Interview your agent, and then you won't have those concerns. I didn't do that. I preach it, but I didn't do it. I thought this guy was my friend. He did, whatever. All right, so that's behind me.
So you didn't use me?
I didn't. No, this was before I actually met you.
Before probably me.
Yeah, before you. Okay, so now this is a question I get asked, and you probably get this question asked too. We've got about 3 minutes here, so we'll answer this one here quickly. And that is, how quickly can I close? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we there?
Yeah.
All right. That was weird.
It was
My
right when you said, and the question is.
I know, right? The question is, how quickly can we close, or how quickly can I close?
Okay. Yeah, all the time.
So I get that question all the time. Sorry about that. My other computer, Chrome crashed again. I don't know what's going on with Chrome. Anyway, that depends on you a little bit. So, and depends on the loan program. So typical here in Arizona is 30 days. That's typical. You can't close any faster than 10 days, just for the disclosure laws. So you're not going to close it unless you're doing cash, right? Doing cash, then you can close as quickly as
Cash
you want.
and no HOA, because the HOA adds 5-7 days or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So typical average close time is 30 days. This is why we said at the beginning, if you're wanting to do a concurrent close of escrow on your new home, it takes some planning. It definitely takes some planning to make it happen. So 30 days is typical, but I've had situations where I've had people who have fallen out from other lenders who didn't get, kind of the service they wanted, or maybe the deal, or maybe it fell out, some rules changed, whatever, and I've been able to close them in 2 weeks. So it can happen, but that's after all the other information is just kind of transferred over to me. It's not like I'm starting from scratch, so to speak. So 30 days is a typical close of escrow. Now, in northern Arizona, it's a little bit longer because the appraisal in just of itself is like 2 weeks for northern Arizona. But we're pretty lucky here in Phoenix, in the metropolitan area, appraisals take about a week.
Well, and then we could also say, and then the VA loan takes a little longer for the appraisal because they have a set amount of days minimum or maximum, and they usually take those days.
Right. Yeah, so it just all depends. And then it all depends on you, the consumer. How responsive are you to email, or how do you communicate, whatever, and how quickly do you get the information to me as the lender? That also can determine close of escrow. And then the property itself too, right? If the appraisal comes in and there's repairs needed on the property, well, then you need to go back. If you want to go back and renegotiate, that could delay closing as well.
Well, I don't ever order the appraisal until after we negotiated the BINSR, and the BINSR is the stuff you find in the inspection period. If there's a AC, water heater, or like a dishwasher or something that needs to be replaced or repaired, broken latches, until the seller agrees to cover those, or we figure out what's the meeting of the minds, then do I order that appraisal, because it's $525 now. Is that right? $525 or $500?
It depends. 500 to 550 depends.
Yeah. So I say that if we haven't negotiated that part, but you ordered that appraisal, and then we back out because they're not going to fix stuff, then who cares what the house is worth? I mean, why you don't get that 500 back? You just get to know that, hey, the house would have appraised, or the house, you would have got the house. Yeah, and I typically don't even have the appraisal ordered until I get the green light from you or from the buyer that they want to move forward, because there's no sense in paying for something you're not going to be able to use if you can't negotiate the deal completely. So, all right, with that takes care of this episode. Those are the questions that we had for this week. If you have questions out there, please go over to our Facebook page, message us directly from there, share and like that page too. Appreciate that support. If you're on Twitter, hashtag 22minutesAZ, you can ask your question that way. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are right above us here, so please do that. Tomorrow is Feature Friday, Reflection. Feature Friday, Reflections,
Yeah, Reflection Friday. So join us for that. We appreciate that, and that pretty much wraps it up. Any final thoughts, Stefan?
Yeah, I think we should change the Twitter quote of the day to deep tweets.
Deep tweets?
Yeah. Now our
Maybe we'll
tweets.
do that. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that. This week's been kind of deep.
Everything you said about everything, so many questions, and there's so much more we can go into with each of those, even from the first question about selling your home and buying your home, because sometimes the buyer, when you try to buy a house, they won't accept it until you have an offer. But and then the other thing is, when you buy a house, your first mortgage payment isn't for like 40 days, so you can kind of hold two mortgages for a little bit if you have it under escrow. But we can touch upon that next time. But there's just so many things that come into play that we need to.
1031 exchanges too, right? 1031 exchanges play into that. So absolutely, there's tons of things that can go into that. So if you have a question specific to your needs, please head over to our Facebook page. Call us directly. I think I flashed up our phone numbers here, so you can call us directly as well. Twitter us, whatever is the best way for you is the best way for us. And this is all in an effort to earn your business. So we really appreciate if you reach out to us. All right, so we will see everybody tomorrow at 9 a.m. Arizona time. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.